And here we go. Fans are on their feet. Green flag is in the air. We are racing at Rockingham.
Just a little bit of wheel spin from that 15 on the inside, Tanner Gray, but he's fighting back on the inside.
Caden Honeycutt, second row on the inside. That 11 truck, certainly one to watch tonight.
And right there you see with Tanner Gray on the inside, washing out just a little bit. That's what's so difficult. Rockingham with the speeds. The truck on the inside wants to get loose as they go 3 wide into turn 1 here.
Look at Cole Butcher, guys. Thor Sport in the 13, full-time this season, doesn't have a lot of track experience in NASCAR at any level. The Canadian racer with a great effort in qualifying, hanging on to third.
See Tom Majeski, teammate to that 98 of Garcia, getting by him.
So Tanner Gray quickly takes the lead. Jake Garcia slipped back to 5th now.
Look at the damage on that 44 of Andres Perez. Let's take a look, Jamie and Regan, at what happened. I saw a truck, completely sideways. Don't know if there was contact that precipitated that, but certainly I don't think there was any contact, just loose, Regan.
Yeah, just got loose into 1, and we've talked about the challenges of, making sure that your truck is loose enough to get through turns 3 and 4. That makes it really loose into 1. Got a little bit high and up out of that groove just a little bit, and it ended up biting him. And that's a tough area, Phil, to have damage on the truck. It's
sideways, the 14, Mini Tyrell, hang on to it.
Perez got into the wall again, trying to avoid that 14 of Mini Tyrell.
I think that was the best outcome for Perez right there, was a little wall contact to avoid him. That was close and a great save by Mini Tyrell.
That green and white and red truck of Andres Perez started 12th. With that wall contact, he has fallen back to 24th. Here's another look at it.
Watch that 14 truck on the bottom, gets in the throttle, is going to get a little bit loose. It gets squeezed a little bit by Luke Baldwin.
And that was the second contact for Perez.
What I was starting to say is we see, Perez just trying to do whatever he can do to stay out there right now. That damage on the right rear quarter panel, that's going to be a problem for the entire race. You got to hope that there's nothing on that right rear tire right now as well. I haven't seen any smoke, so hopefully he's good from that standpoint, but it's going to make that truck just nearly undrivable for the entire race.
Caught a glimpse of that 38 of Chandler Smith. We talked about the fact he had to start from the rear. He's already up about 8 positions so far.
Yeah, he had an issue in qualifying, as we certainly expected a lot more out of him with the speed we saw in practice.
Yeah, he went into turn 1 in qualifying, and a broken right front shock on that truck, and took it way up the racetrack, and had the same problem in turns 3 and 4. So obviously we knew there was something there, but this is going to be fun to follow along with him. You see right there on the right side of the screen, +9 positions for Chandler Smith. Carson Hocevar with a good start to the race also.
We're just 8 laps in. Chandler Smith on the move as he works his way around, or trying to get around Connor Hall, who's making his debut with Nice Motorsports.
Yeah, we know how good that 38 truck was in practice, so we fully expected him to move towards the front once we dropped the green flag, and he is not disappointing.
Meanwhile, up front, Tanner Gray continues to lead here. Ty Majeski, Caden Honeycutt in 3rd, Cole Butcher and Cory Heim, the top 5. We heard Cory Heim on the radio say he is more confident in this truck than he was at Darlington. And of course, he won that race. So keep your eye on that yellow and black number 1 as he moves to the inside of Cole Butcher to try to pick up another spot.
The last 2 laps, he has been the fastest truck by about 0.2 of a second.
And he does it. Cory Heim into 4th.
And Cory Heim was extremely quick here at Rockingham last year as well. Strategy didn't quite work out in his favor, but arguably the fastest truck in the race, and to expect anything different than that out of him today, we'd be doing an injustice if we didn't think that with him at this point.
So Tanner Gray, he continues to lead here, only led 11 laps in the first 4 races of the season, so off to a strong start. Led 10 laps and counting so far today. We're 12 laps in, 189 laps to go. Tanner Gray continues to lead at the Rock. here in Rockingham. Cory Heim has made quick work. He passed 4 trucks in the time that we are away, and he has taken over the lead. Of course, Tanner Gray moved to second. Ty Majeski, Caden Honeycutt, and Cole Butcher, the top 5.
Quite impressive, Cory Heim able to catch and do some of what he did, and he's flying right now. I don't know any other way to put it. Almost a 0.8 of a second lead right now.
We talked about the fact, Regan, that 28 races in a row he had led a lap, which tied all-time Kyle Busch. He just eclipsed that. Anytime you can beat Kyle Busch in any kind of a stat, it's amazing. And what a job this young man's done.
29 straight races. Think about all the things that could go wrong to prevent him from leading a lap. And not to mention, he's done it with 3 different teams now, 2 different teams this year. All right, guys, our tape producers have been hard at work putting together this quick highlight package of Cory Heim making quick work of his competition.
This is Honeycutt. This is a battle for the 4th position right here, and he's just going to go to the outside. And we love the fact that there is an outside groove, Regan. We talked about there during practice, or at least there is for Cory Heim anyway.
And when Cory Heim made that move, I think he found a little something there. He did the same thing with Ty Majeski, kind of faked a little bit high going into turn 1, was able to get the run to start the pass when he got through turn 2 on the backstretch, and did the same thing in 3 and 4 for the lead. And you can see the rubber on the track there. It's really starting to widen out, which there were some question marks about how much of that would happen.
So Cory Heim, our second leader of the day as we go on board the Toyota Racing onboard.
He's already opened up over a 2-second lead over Tanner Gray running second.
Yeah, just consistently running laps that are 0.3 quicker than the field right now, which is just unheard of. And doing that with some traffic as well. You see him, catching lap trucks here and there, which traditionally would slow you down some, but a lot of maneuverability in that number 1 truck for Cory. He's able to go high, he's able to go low, he can go wherever he wants to.
That was Perez that he went by. Remember, Perez got into the outside wall, and he is now 4 laps behind. Tough break for that young man that has really showed a lot of speed this year, but not going to happen for him today.
I know the Cory Heim fans out there that get frustrated that we're not seeing him race every Sunday. His time is coming, and I'll tell you that he will be back in a Cup car in 2 weeks from now at Kansas. He'll be with 2311. By the way, talking to 2311, they credit this young man so much with what he has given to the team and all of his development, all of his simulation, for what Tyler Reddick has been able to pull off with 4 wins this year.
Yeah, they've had an amazing start to the season over at 2311. And good to know, and you mentioned too that Cory Heim will be at Bristol running another race for the Triple Truck Challenge, and if this is any indication, he may be going for $500,000.
Which would be incredible, right, Phil? We've never seen somebody win a Triple Truck Challenge of any kind. We've seen him win twice, but not 3 times. And by the way, you don't have to win the race to get that bonus, but it's the highest finishing eligible truck driver. But if he continues at this pace, we know what happens.
I feel like whoever's going to get that bonus today is probably going to have to win the race right now based on what I'm seeing out of Cory Heim.
You see it there. Cory Heim picked up that $50,000. He gets another $100,000 if he does it tonight. And then next Friday night, it'll be a $500,000 bonus.
That's $500,000, Jamie.
Unbelievable.
It's $500,000.
That's huge for this
It
driver
is.
and for a team like this. 29 laps into stage number 1. Cory Heim continues to lead over Tanner Gray. Welcome back to the Rock. 10 laps to go in stage number 1. Cory Heim continues to lead, but how about Butterbean Queen leading the effort, the contingent of the 5-truck operation of Colleague Racing up in 11th. Guys, there's such a discrepancy between these teammates here early.
Look all the experience that Justin Haley has, Corey LaJoie has, Ty Dillon has, and right now Butterbean is doing the best job just outside the top 10, really doing a nice job.
And doing what he's done all year long, and that's been be consistent, take what the truck's got and what it's going to give to you, and use that opportunity to learn all these new places that he's going in the truck for the first time and figuring out exactly what it wants. And got himself in a little bit of a battle right now with Dawson Sutton, who's also having a good start to the race. He's up 6 spots right now as they run. So, but Brendan Queen doing a really nice job so far.
And Phil, you called the races with Butterbean Queen last year. He won so many races and he won the championship. What did you see out of him? What was the key to that championship?
Just a smart driver. He didn't always have the best car at the beginning of the race, but he and his crew worked together. We always had some sort of a halftime break or some sort of a race break. They were able to make their cars better, and he just didn't make any mistakes.
Well, one driver that kind of has our heads scratching is Ben Rhodes. He just has not had the speed today. Back in 25th right now. Amanda, what do you know?
Yeah, that's exactly where he qualified to. I stopped over and talked to him and his crew chief, his new crew chief, Cale Gale. It's their second race together after qualifying, and Cale told me, I'm just not where I need to be with this truck today. I'm learning these trucks, and he said that the goal in stage 1 here is to just find balance for Ben Rhodes. And guys, before I walked out of the hauler, Ben threw his hands up and said, I just want to win. But you kind of look at the calamity here. Look at the other team trucks here tonight. Cole Butcher on one of his best nights ever, running currently in 6th, qualified 4th. So a bit of a conundrum over there at Thor Sport.
Thank you, Amanda. Yes, and he's seeing a mirror full of the leader, Cory Heim, getting ready to put him a lap down. Not what we expected. Phil, in the top of the show, you talked about drivers that are going in the right direction and doing so well to start the season, but he wrecked early at Darlington. There goes Cory Heim around him. Wrecked early at Darlington. Night was over before it began, and then tonight and today, it hasn't been the normal Ben Rhodes.
Yeah, right now he has to hope that Cory Heim is not going to pass those trucks to take him out of the free pass position, but I don't think there's any chance of that happening or not happening, because he's going to probably pass all these trucks with
right
contact.
In front of the leader. That's Chris Wright battling with the 93. That's Caleb Costner. 14 in that mix as well, Mini Tyrell.
And this is the biggest challenge right now for Cory Heim. As you come up the lap, all these guys are trying to stay on the lead lap at the end, and they're doing everything. Obviously, the trucks aren't where they want them to be, so you start pushing a little harder to try and stay on the lead lap, but Cory's able to navigate that and find his way through it. It got a little hairy for a moment, though.
It did. That took Ben Rhodes out of the free pass position.
You know, the good news for Ben Rhodes, I know he's not happy about being a lap down early on right now, but the truck that won it last year was a lap down at the end of stage 1 as well.
Battle for third right there. Honeycutt gets by Tanner Gray to grab that 3rd spot.
Just 2 laps to go in stage number 1.
Lane Riggs is going to try to do the same thing with that 34 truck. Remember, points on the line here in another lap and a half or so.
This is for the 4th spot, down to the end. Final lap of stage 1. Cory Heim with a 4.7 second lead over Ty Majeski. He's in a league of his own, gentlemen.
Sure is. That's Sammy Smith, Jamie, right in front of him as he wins the stage. Sammy Smith won our O'Reilly race here last year.
Cory Heim picks up his 44th career stage win. He makes it look easy, working his way through traffic. He'll take home the green and white checker for stage number 1 battle to the end. Stay with us. Pit Stop's coming up. Saturday night is baseball night on Fox. This week we've got Pete Crow Armstrong and the Cubs versus Jose Ramirez and the Guardians. Or the Braves take on the Diamondbacks. It's baseball night in America tomorrow, 7 Eastern, only on Fox. So stage one is in the books. Cory Heim picked up yet another stage win. Getting ready for first round of pit stops. And guys, Carson Hocevar, when you talked to him, Regan, he said it's been like a soap opera every time he gets behind the wheel. Let's listen to his radio here just moments ago.
I have no motor. Like, I can't lift because it just dies flat on its face on me. And then I'm like dead. I have to almost run wide open around here to keep momentum. We're going to raise the hood and see if we see something obvious that's causing your problem.
Maybe a plug wire off or something like that, Regan. It doesn't sound right.
Yeah, I feel like we would hear that potentially, and like he would hear that, and it's odd when he says he lifts and it dies. Not sure what that is. Not sure that they're going to be able to find what that is, and Carson may just have to try and go wide open for the rest of the race if that's what's going on. I don't think you could use a brake, I guess, to slow down for when you need to, if at worst case, but not a good problem to have. We'll have to see if they can figure something out here.
Well, he did already come down pit road one time, and they took a look at things. That was 2 laps ago, so we'll certainly keep an eye on that.
Yeah, he was running 13th at the end of the stage, but I'm sure that wasn't, that wasn't certainly what he wanted and what he felt. So he came down pit road. They're going to open the hood when pit road opens here.
So as the drivers make their way around turns 3 and 4, pit road is open. They'll be filling up with Sunoco race fuel with zero carbon bioethanol. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of changes and adjustments to the rest of the field. Cory Heim, maybe not so much. They're coming your way, Amanda.
Well, the question on a lot of these race radios was what Cory Heim was going to do. There's already teams talking strategies with tires, especially in Lane Riggs. The team was asking him, do you want 4 tires or 2? Unfortunately, Lane Riggs is having some communication issues with his team. He can hear the crew chief well, but they can't hear him at all. The team did decide to go with 4 tires, but a big weekend for Lane Riggs here. Has family in town. The sponsor has a box as well, Josh.
Well, for Cory Heim, obviously a really good start to the race. He said that truck fired off neutral, but then trended tight towards the end, said it could use to be freed up just a little bit in terms of time. Majeski also happy with the fire off, got tight towards the end of that one. They want to address that with a little track bar adjustment.
Track bar adjustments, air pressure adjustments. Cory Heim comes out in front.
A little strategy for Grant Enfinger. Obviously only 2 tires on that 9 truck.
And you guys talked about not a lot of fall off, so you can gamble, mix it up a little bit. It's more an emphasis on fuel, I think, for tonight that we'll be watching. Well, Cory Heim, he's been the leader tonight. He's led the most, 33 laps. Trouble.
Get a round of applause in the studio, please. We get a round of applause for our man Kevin Harvick, nominated for the Hall of Fame at the earliest possible opportunity. You're too young to be in a Hall of Fame, surely.
Well, I'm not that young. I'm 50, so I'm like an old, washed-up race car driver. But it was Mike Helton. They surprised me again, as I've learned that Fox is very much into surprises when they can get me. They got me again.
Yes, they did get him live on the air from Martinsville. Check out the all-new Fox Sports digital show, Speed, with Harvick and Buxton, fueled by Poet. Subscribe to Speed on Fox on YouTube. Follow it on the Fox Sports app or wherever you get your podcasts. So we would like to say congratulations, Kevin. As much as I'd love to give you a hard time, you certainly do deserve it. 2014 champion, 60 wins. I'd say he's a Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer.
And O'Reilly champion as well. Well deserved.
Very well deserved. And I was speaking with Kevin shortly after that, and he does not like it when they get him. They definitely got him right there, and very cool.
He's a very calculated individual, and when we can get one on him like that, well, he had tears in his eyes, to say the least. Guys, too fast exiting for Gio Ruggiero.
Tough break for Gio. Had a good race going up until that point. He's going to have to work hard to get back through the pack here.
He'll restart 23rd. We've had 2 leaders so far today. Cory Heim has led 36 laps. Tanner Gray led the first 17. Let's see if any of these adjustments will have anything for that one truck. Got Grant Enfinger, the 2 tires stop there. Little strategy. He'll restart on the inside there in the number 9. Caden Honeycutt, Ty Majeski, Tanner Gray back in 5th, and Stuart Friesen, haven't mentioned him today, restarting 6th. Green flag once again in the air. Looked like Enfinger maybe spun his tires a little bit, but there it is. There's the launch. Grant Enfinger into turn 1.
Yeah, a little spin of the tires, but got a great push from Ty Majeski when it happened. That allowed him to clear Cory Heim, and we'll have to see how long he can hold on those 2 tires.
I don't expect Grant Enfinger to be able to run with Cory Heim. I'm just curious how those 2 tires will react with the rest of the field. Because Cory Heim has, how about Ty Majeski now moving to the inside of Cory Heim? Maybe we're speaking too soon.
Well, they made some adjustments. Josh was talking about a track bar adjustment for the 88 of Ty Majeski.
And it took him 20 laps to get the lead, just inside of 20 laps to get the lead. But I expect that truck to get better and better.
Let's take a look back at that restart and that push from the 88. Here we go, riding on board with Cory Heim.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that the 9 ever actually spun the tires. I just think the Ty Majeski timed it just right, and what we saw was that 9 dancing around because the 88 was on the back bumper, giving him such a good shove. And you know, on 2 tires, that's difficult to do. So nice job by Grant to time it just right, as well as Ty to help him out.
Here's Cory Heim around the outside. We've seen this move a few times already today.
I love the fact that he's able to do that move around the outside. Now he's going to do the switchback back to the inside and grab that lead back.
Cory Heim, your leader once again. Ty Majeski back to 2nd. Grant Enfinger now 3rd.
What that means to me is that Cory Heim could be a little bit vulnerable maybe on a real late race restart or an overtime or something like that.
Grant Enfinger loses another spot.
Yeah,
Caden Honeycutt gets around.
Caden Honeycutt taking some lessons from his teammate Cory Heim up there. Worked that high side down in turns 1 and 2 to complete that pass, and we're starting to see more and more guys venture up there, and that is a great sign for this race. It's going to open up options as it plays out and different things that you can try.
Another quick stage here, just 45 laps again. We were caution free in the first stage. Oh, and around goes Adam Andretti. Caution. I just said we were caution free. I guess that's the announcer jinx. The caution comes out. Big lick for him, making his 3rd career start in the Truck Series. He was back in 28th at the moment of this contact.
And that's at the end of the back straightaway, so you have to imagine that probably started somewhere coming off of turn 2, and the fluid running out of the radiator, unfortunately for him, that is going to end his day. And tough break for Adam, who had done a really nice job in the 2 races he's run to this point.
That's the same truck, I believe, that Cory Heim drove to victory lane 2 weeks ago at Darlington.
Pretty significant front end damage to that truck.
Adam Andretti just turned 47 last week. 47 years old, and he's a rookie in NASCAR. So let's see what happened here. So this will be in progress on the backstretch.
See him right there, already into the inside wall, it looks like.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that started, you know, at the exit of turn 2, and we see the contact when he gets into the inside wall. And
that back straightaway is banked here, I think 8 degrees or something like that. So it's somewhat self-cleaning, and that's maybe what happened to Adam.
.139 laps to go here at the Rock. We're under caution for incident for the first time.
Tomorrow, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series drivers will test their mettle against The Rock, with racing action starting at 2:30 p.m. Eastern on the CW.
Well, doubleheader action from The Rock, and one of those rare weekends that the Cup Series is off, and for good reason. It's Easter, and everyone in the racing community gets to relax and enjoy some time off with their families. Much deserved. Well, Josh, we talked about the issues for Carson Hocevar. We know he came in and said he was down on power. What's the latest?
Well, yeah, they took a big swing during the stage break, and during that next run, he said it was still slow down the straightaways, but felt like the balance was just a little bit better. Said he needs more of those adjustments, so he came back to pit road. It took 2 rounds out of the right rear, 2 rounds out of the left rear, took a packer out, and told him we're going to have to battle through this, and a lot of it's going to be on Carson running different lines to try and figure this out. Of course, the team disappointed they missed it on the setup, but hoping their driver, who's done it before in the past, can find some way to dig themselves out of this hole, guys.
Interesting.
It's kind of funny because, originally in the first stage he was talking about the thing wouldn't run. Motor, we thought it was all motor related or whatever, but now he's talking about obviously the truck not handling to his liking, and they made some pretty major adjustments, as Josh just told us.
Yeah, just a multitude of problems for that 77 right now. And you see on this pit stop here, spent a long time inside the left front taking care of, obviously, the Packer adjustments there. And not sure how if those two things are correlating somehow. I can't imagine that they are, but we'll have to keep an eye on Carson and see if they can't get it going back the right direction.
So Carson Hocevar will restart 23rd. And the free pass that time around was Connor Hall, making his second career start here and the first for Nice Motorsports. He'll restart 24th.
Interesting. Cory Heim took the outside on the first restart of the race, and this time he's going to choose to take the bottom. We saw Grant Enfinger make the bottom work when he did that. So trying to put some stuff in the memory bank here right now for Cory Heim for later in the race and what's going to work for him.
And has a teammate behind him in Honeycutt as well.
Yep.
First time we've seen Ty Majeski restart on the front row. We know he made some beneficial adjustments as well. See what he can do here. So it'll be 24 laps to go in stage number 2. Can anyone stop Cory Heim? I feel like we were a broken record saying that last year many a times, but certainly he has been lights out so far.
Well, he didn't win half the races last year. I mean, he only won 12 of 25, so he didn't win over half.
He has his own record book. Just says Cory Heim with a lot of pages. They added a lap here under caution. Get the trucks all lined up in order.
You know, one thing I was thinking about, guys, is we talk about simulation all the time, right? All these major teams have simulation. They go to this, drivers go to the simulator. Well, what they find out setup-wise, they usually will use across all their trucks. That's why it's so surprising that Ben Rhodes' truck was so far off his teammates early in the race. But conversely, we talk about Carson Hocevar not running all that well or to his liking. Sammy Smith, his teammate who won the O'Reilly race here last year, is back in the 18th position. So whatever they came with maybe is not working for them.
Yeah, and it seemed like in practice, Hocevar and Sammy Smith, two opposite problems. One was really loose, the other was really tight, and just trying to find that balance as to where they needed to be with him. I know Sammy Smith was on the splitter, so plenty of time to work on it, plenty of time to try and get things better.
And Tricon Garage, 3 of their 5 trucks in the top 10. So same idea. You take that setup, basic platform as we always hear, and then little nuances to fit your driver's style. So Cory Heim in the 1 truck restarting on the inside. Pace truck is off. 23 laps to go here in stage number 2. Cory Heim, Ty Majeski, Caden Honeycutt, Grant Enfinger.
A good start by Cory Heim that time. I think he got a nice push from his teammate Honeycutt.
Heck of a battle. 2 rows behind him, Grant Enfinger and Tanner Gray.
Grant's hanging in pretty well with those 2 tires holding on to that 4th spot.
And you got to imagine if Grant can stay in the top 10, that's a positive, right? When you take the 2 tires,
oh,
we got trouble here.
Butterbean
12 in the wall. Butterbean Queen. We talked about how well he was running, leading the Force 4 Ram. We stay green for now.
I caught a glimpse of it. I think he was on the outside of a 3 wide situation down there in the corner.
Certainly slow, but he's running.
And going to have to be very cautious with that now as well. That the right sides of these trucks, when you make contact, you usually have a cut tire shortly thereafter. So he'll have to be aware of that and do the right things here if he needs to get to pit road.
See what happened in the 12. Butterbean Queen here.
He was actually, he was on the outside of a 3 wide battle. I think his teammate was maybe one of the trucks that was in the middle of the racetrack.
Well, he's still digging, you guys. He was 16th when that happened, back to 23rd now, certainly off the pace somewhat. And meanwhile, Corey LaJoy is carrying that Ram flag right now, back in 13th. There he is.
Here's Landon Lewis, the 45 truck, had such a good run this year at St. Pete. Had a 6th place finish there, his only start of the year.
And I love this shot right here off the front of Corey LaJoie. You can see the banking profile that they have here at Rockingham, and when it loads into the corner, and this is low on the truck, this is down towards the splitter right here, so you really see not only how smooth the track is right now, but what these drivers are going through as they sail it off into the corners, and a little flatter down there in turn 1, but what an awesome ride that is, right? Just a great viewpoint.
Looked like Dan Stillman, the crew chief, made some nice adjustments on this truck for LaJoie up to the 13th spot.
Cory LaJoie has been a busy man in and out of a race vehicle. His wife just gave birth about 3 weeks ago now to their 4th baby boy. So it is a busy LaJoie household. Cory also told me he's working on a new company. He's building seats, the next generation basically of what his dad has always done. So he's building that up, and now he got the call this week. He's full-time truck racing the rest of the year.
I think of all the things you mentioned, other than being a father, doing what he's doing right now would be way more fun than building seats, I'm pretty sure.
Got his hands full right now trying to hold off Landon Lewis. Just his 5th career Truck Series start. What a nice young man under the tutelage of Ron Hornaday. Nice battle back there for 12th. Meanwhile, Cory Heim continues to lead up front over Ty Majeski. We're racing at the Rock. What a battle for 4th. Grant Enfinger trying with all his might to hold off Tanner Gray and Lane Riggs. So far right now he does, but you didn't miss it at home as we were side by side. Grant, though, doing a great job on those 2 tires.
Remember, we talked at the top of the show how far behind he is right now. He's like 16th, 17th spot in points. His average finish way down from last year. He needs these points And if he can hold off these guys and get a 4th place finish, what a great job they will have done by going with those 2 tires.
And it looked like Tanner Gray was going to be able to make that move to the outside, much like his teammates have been doing a little further up front there. And when he went into turn 1, I jumped out of my seat for a moment because I thought that truck was going to go around completely on him, but a nice save and getting brought back into a battle there because of it, as we see Stuart Friesen right now in 7th position doing a really nice job so far. A tough race at Rockingham last year for Stuart, but things have gone much smoother today so far.
Same situation, 2 tires for Stuart Friesen as well. That track position has worked well. Clean air. These guys always look for clean air, and that's what Stuart has, a little bit of that clean air compared to being back in the mid-teens among a bunch of trucks.
Friesen started the race 19th, up to 7th right now. He's been running top 10 most of this race. And remember, we award points to the top 10. So back to your point, Phil, it's all about finishing this stage in the top 10 and maximize those points, especially if you're a guy like Grant Edfinger.
Exactly. Daniel Hemrick having a nice run. You see he started back in the 15th spot. 16th in stage 1, now has made his way up into the top 10 and 8th.
Been really impressed with Cole Butcher. Up there battling up front early on, and he's hung on to that top 10, that ThorSport machine.
Yeah, he restarted outside the top 10, so he's made some passes to get his way, make his way up into the top 10.
Back to this battle for 4th, and Grant Enfinger continues to hold on for dear life right now. And you know, both these guys, Tanner Gray as well as Lane Riggs right behind him, they want this spot. The problem is they keep getting to each other battle, and instead of being able to move forward and progress, and Lane's going to try the outside right here, and this time it looks like he's going to be able to complete this pass.
2 laps to go in stage number 2.
Grant's up there saying, stay side by side, guys, so just for 2 more laps.
And he gets it. Lane Riggs picks up 1 more spot, moves around Grant Enfinger. And Tanner Gray, you see him move back a spot to 6th. Final lap of stage number 2. There's your leader, Cory Heim. A lot of lap traffic, guys. He has had to work his way through since midway through stage 1. See, Andres Perez had a fast truck, qualified in the top 10 and in the wall hard at the drop of the green flag. Cory Heim picks up the 2nd stage win of the race. Ty Majeski, Caden Honeycutt, Grant Enfinger. Riggs picks it up another spot, and he gets around Enfinger for 4th. Enfinger moves back to 5th at the end of that stage. 13th time that Cory Heim has swept the stages in a race. Can he hang on and win the most important Rockingham Speedway, rich with history. First opened back in 1965. Some incredible racing, some incredible moments. Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt, Steve Park, Bill Elliott, Jeff Gordon, you name it. They have raced here and they have won here, and it's awesome to come back here.
Do either one of you guys know who won the first Cup race here back in 1965?
I don't.
Jamie, do you?
Did it have to do with the Parsons?
No, was not. Curtis Turner.
Curtis Turner, first
Turner.
win here.
In a Wood Brothers car. I wasn't there.
That was the next question, Phil.
Yeah.
Well, Poet Fuel Strategy, sponsored by Zero Carbon Bioethanol, sets up our next round of pit stops. How you looking at this?
Yeah, and you see right there, 80 to 85 laps, the fuel window. Probably a little bit closer to 80 right now, but this final stage, 110 laps, Jamie, that means they're going to have to pit. And I know Phil touched on it at the top of the show, but when do you make that stop? We saw Tyler Ankrum find a way to stretch it last year when he made that stop. Does somebody try that depending on when these cautions falls? This is going to mix some strategies in here on this last stage.
Yeah, I think that means around lap 110, if we get another caution flag, then I think these crew chiefs have to make a decision. Do we want to stop now and try to stretch it, have our drivers save us some fuel?
So pit road will be open now. Cory Heim will lead them down pit road. They'll be filling it up with Sunoco race fuel with Zero Carbon Bioethanol. They're coming your way, Amanda.
Yeah, and Grant Enfinger was super happy with that two-tire strategy. He told his crew chief, great job on being gutsy there, and they said great job on hanging on. Grant said surprisingly that truck had a lot of balance in it just with two tires. As you can see, it will be 4 tires for Grant, but also asked for water with some ice. Josh, the guy is thirsty.
Well, for Cory Heim, swept the stages, felt like that adjustment at the end of stage 1 made that truck even better, so he wants no adjustments this time around, just 4 tires and fuel. For Ty Majeski, he's tight landing in 3 and 4. They made a track bar adjustment last time. They made a small one again this time to help him out, guys.
So tight on the exit of pit road. You see Chandler Smith right there in the mix this time. Cory Heim, there was a little discussion on the radio, do we take 2 or 4? And he said, we got to take 4. This truck is just too good, control our own race. You saw another little strategy there, some 2 tires.
Chandler Smith, yes.
We will wrap it all up after this. So there's been some famous rocks throughout history. Plymouth Rock.
That was fairly famous.
That's a good one. Rock of Gibraltar. Remember learning about that in high school. Alcatraz.
Regan's been there.
Been there. Not actually in
okay,
Alcatraz,
good.
but been
good.
there.
Little Rock, you've been there,
Been
Phil.
to Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh, one of my favorite Rocks, WWE wrestler, The
I
Rock.
interviewed The Rock. He was a race fan. He is a race fan. And then NASCAR's favorite, Rockingham.
Yeah, my favorite rock.
So
Rockingham.
glad to be here.
Absolutely.
Love this place. So glad that NASCAR came back. Craftsman Truck Series, the O'Reilly race will be tomorrow. We'll take Sunday off for Easter. And we are choosing it up.
Cory's going to take the inside again. It worked well for him last time.
Yeah, I think that he learned after that first one. And on the inside behind him is going to be Ty Majeski. So you know you got a good pusher back there to get you a good start.
I think it's just a shorter way around, Regan, on the inside, because they're going to run wide open through 1 and 2 as they're getting up to speed.
Yep.
So Cory Heim has maximized points in the stages today, winning both stages. He gets 20 points. You see how they stack up throughout the rest of the top 10. How about Parker Eatman, guys? I know we've mentioned him a little bit, making his Truck Series debut. He's been in the top 10, picked up 3 points today. Good for him.
Absolutely.
Done a nice job all day long. And interested on this restart here. You got Gio Ruggiero, who's going to start to the outside of Cory Heim, of course, his teammate. But it wasn't that long ago at the end of stage number 1. He was getting a speeding penalty, so a 2-tire stop for him. They saw Grant Enfinger do it earlier, decided to try that, and I think a great move.
Chandler Smith also with 2 tires, as well as Tyler Ankrum. All 3 of those teams now in the top 10, and they were outside the top 15 at the end of the stage.
So Cory Heim has won both stages. We saw Lane Riggs do it last year, but Lane did not find victory lane because it came down to a little fuel strategy. See if Cory Heim can get it done today. 102 laps to go at the line. Teammates side by side. Cory Heim, Gio Ruggiero into turn 1.
Gio has a teammate behind him, Caden Honeycutt.
Ty Majeski, guys, a great restart for him once again. Trying to pick up that second spot.
This is where it gets difficult for Ty on the inside. Gio holds him down just a little bit. That makes that 88 truck really loose getting into 3, and he had to concede that spot just a little bit. He couldn't go side by side through there.
And I think he recognized the fact that if he drove it in there, he was going to get a little bit too loose.
100%.
Guys, Chandler Smith, a heck of a battle right now with Tanner Gray trying to pick up that spot. For now, he does in 5th. He took those 2 tires you mentioned, Phil. And they switch again. He loses the spot again. Great battle right here.
Yeah, we've heard that he has not been happy this entire race with his truck, but it doesn't mean he's not going to battle back on the inside.
And keep in mind, had that broken shock in qualifying. We saw it when it happened going into turn 1, and you could actually hear it when it happened. And just been fighting all day ever since then.
See right behind them that orange and blue Chevrolet for Tyler Ankrum, our winner here last year.
Been kind of a quiet day for Tyler Ankrum.
It was a quiet day last year for him, though, towards the end, until the end of the race.
Then he was a master at fuel saving, went 88 laps, picked up the victory. It had been 130 races since he had gone to victory lane, so it was a special day for him. As we look at Grant Enfinger digging, looking to pick up that spot over Tyler Ankrum. That's a battle for 7th.
Stuart Friesen right behind them. Remember, both those drivers parlayed 2 tires into a top 10 finish in that second stage, and has them both now with track position and 4 tires.
26 at Dawson Sutton's going to round out the top 10 right now, and Dawson Sutton's been doing a really nice job this entire race. Started 18th and has just slowly worked his way forward as we've been running, and definitely, got to be liking what they're seeing out of that 26.
So there's Lane Riggs, the 34 truck. Lane had run in the top 5 much of the race. Right now back outside the top 10.
Had a little bit of trouble on that first pit stop. We noticed him stalling at leaving pit road. Lost a couple spots there. Lost a couple spots to the guys with 2 tires, and just continuing to fight. Had that good finish to stage 2, and clearly lost a couple more spots on pit road again on this most recent stage 2 yellow.
We saw Dawson in that 26 truck make his way by Stuart Friesen to grab a spot. Move Dawson up to the 9th spot.
See the 19 just behind Lane Riggs. Daniel Hemrick. Come to expect those McAnally Hilgeman Racing trucks to be good at this style of racetrack here, and of course on the short tracks as well. They're the team that got the win last year with Tyler Ankrum. Jake Garcia, our pole sitter, set a blistering pace. Couldn't believe what we saw. He broke a track record, but right at the start of the green flag, he fell back, and we haven't talked a whole lot about him today. You see it there.
Yeah, they went into turn one at the green flag and just, you know, ended up getting washed up the racetrack just a little bit. And once he got up to that high line, lost a few spots, and seems like it's been a steady battle, you know, to try and gain positions for him all day long. I can't be overly thrilled with it. And Christian Eckes, as good as he was at Darlington, definitely expected him to be up a little further close to the front right now, and it's just been kind of stuck right there from that 10th to 15th range for the majority of the race.
Yeah, 12th was the best that Christian has been this entire race, and that was at the end of the second stage.
Let's get an update on Jake Garcia, Amanda. Sorry, Cole Butcher in the 13th.
What a great day for Cole Butcher. I talked to him after qualifying, where he qualified 4th here, and he was just smiling about hard work paying off. He told me that it's just been hours after hours and getting ready for this place and trying to be part of the ThorSport way. He said it's such a community over there, and he just wants to fit in and feels like things have really turned here this week. He said that the word for him this week was learning, and that's exactly what he's been doing here today. I've been listening to his radio, and the chatter between him and his spotter is all about here at Rockingham and how to use the different groups here, as well as prepare yourself for lap traffic. So a good weekend for Cole Butcher, currently running in the top 15, and just happy to be part of the community with ThorSport.
Thanks, Amanda. The 29-year-old from Canada moved to Charlotte 3 years ago to pursue his dream of racing here in NASCAR, and he's doing an incredible job here today. First time being at Rockingham.
He really has, and he's had a couple top 15 finishes this year, so look for good things out of him as the year progresses.
So right here, a couple of teammates, they look like they were battling down there in turns 1 and 2. Caden Honeycutt, though, up into the 3rd position right now, and trying to figure out what he needs to catch his teammate Cory Heim.
Just moments ago, between the teammates, a little close.
We've seen that Cory Heim make that move a number of times. Go to the, oh, that was even closer as I got down in turn number 1.
And that's what I caught out of the corner of my eye. I didn't know how we got to that point, but I definitely knew something had happened right there. And yeah, you don't want to cut it quite that close if you don't have to.
Gio Ruggiero has lost 2 spots since the restart. Remember, he's on 2 tires.
But again, much like Grant Enfinger as well as Stuart Friesen earlier, this is a net gain right now. We know that you've got to pit once more at some point during the course of this final stage. We don't believe anybody will try to make it or do anything crazy like that. So if you can just hold this position in your Gio right now, that's been a great run.
I think we're in our window now with 87 laps to go, that if the caution were to come out, it would take a couple laps to collect the field, so we would be inside 85 to go. I think everyone comes to pit road and tries to stretch it to the end. But again, there's, you know, we haven't had a whole bunch of caution flags in this race, so we may not see one.
It's a sophomore season for Gio Ruggiero. Certainly a standout last year in his rookie campaign. Talked to Trevor Bain, one of the driver coaches for Tricon, and he said this guy's hard on himself. Finished in the top 10 at Darlington 2 weeks ago, and he just was not happy with that effort. They expected more. Went to work this week, just focused on Rockingham. Doing a great job. Running top 5 once again. Sammy Smith, haven't talked about him much today. He's been running mid-pack. Let's listen what's going on with the 7.
Got a problem or something, dude. This thing is undrivable. I'm about to wreck every corner. Copy. What's this? Supposed to be at the back.
Well, I think we probably understand why we haven't said a lot about him today based on that comment right there. Undrivable in driver's terms, and Sammy, somebody with a lot of experience.
And his teammate, the 77 Carson Hocevar, on pit road as well. You talked about the teams and their setups and similarities. These two certainly both had their hands full, saying trucks are undrivable. Those Spire trucks, not what they expected when they unloaded here. Meanwhile, not a lot that Cory Heim has not done. leading this field right now. 82 laps to go. Look at that. He wants to join those names, legendary names on the Rock. Can he do it? We'll find out. It is the Triple Truck Challenge. Cory Heim won the first race at Darlington, picked up a cool $50,000 bonus. And now tonight, if he hangs on, he'll collect an additional $100,000. Then, of course, we go to Bristol, Tennessee in a week from now on FS1. If he can win that, guys, it'll be the first time we've ever seen the Triple Truck Challenge won by the same driver, and he will take home $500,000 total. It's a lot of money for a driver in the Truck Series.
That's a little motivation for him, right? Not that he needs any more. Cory Heim just wants to win everything, but that adds incentive.
And we're not sure, obviously, running a limited schedule. We're really not sure how many races that Cory had planned, but once he won that race at Darlington, I think that accelerated his plans on being here and at Bristol in next week.
Yeah, and just what he's able to do, running in the one truck now. He won with the 5 team 2 weeks ago. Of course, they're all Tricon Garage, but it's a different team. It's a different crew chief. It's a different mentality and communication that he doesn't have like he had with Scott Zipadelli, yet he's still finding a way.
And I think he'll make both those teams better, too. Obviously, him and Scott Zipadelli had such a great run, but he'll make that 5 team and that 1 team better with all his feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mentioned the 77 and the problems he's been having. Josh?
Yeah, it's a day that 77 and Carson Hocevar would like to forget. It started in practice. They were just way off, didn't have the truck the way they wanted it. In the race, it got worse. They made several adjustments. None of them really helped out. And just a few minutes over the radio, he came over and said something broke. As you see that truck now in the garage. Carson Hocevar, I see him walking. He's already changed out of his suit and walking back towards his car. So a rough day for the 77.
Frustrating, no doubt.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you're gonna have days like that occasionally, and you know, I think the best thing for them is going to be able to go back. The truck's in one piece. You can go back and look at it, figure out what went wrong. I know we had the engine issues as well, and try to dissect it so it doesn't happen again.
Guys, Tyler Ankrum is going in the right direction, moving up. Just got around Lane Riggs, moved into 7th.
And this is about the time of the race last year that we started talking about Tyler Ankrum just a little bit. So You know, he talked to us before the start of the race and had a lot of confidence and has been progressing his way forward as it's gone on.
Remember, only 2 tires on that last pit stop.
So we talked about how short the first 2 stages were, 45 laps each. This one, 110 laps. We've had 3 cautions today for 22 laps. 2 of those, of course, the stage breaks. And we've had 3 different lap leaders. Cory Heim continues to lead now. He's led 110 laps. Tanner Gray led the first 17. And Grant Enfinger credited with 4 laps led. 68 laps to go here from the Rock. Cory Heim continues to lead over Ty Majeski. We're going to step aside, but you won't miss a thing as we go Fox side by side. Welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series from Rockingham. Jamie Little, Regan Smith, Phil Parsons with you. Josh Sims, Amanda Busick on pit road. As we've been watching this battle, this 34, guys, Lane Riggs, it takes him a little while, but he turns it up another notch. He's on the move forward.
It hasn't been much of a battle. He just catches these guys and drives right by them.
And you see right now, he's on the bottom of the racetrack right now, but he's made a lot of these moves on the top side of the racetrack and really working that high groove further up the track than most that we've seen all day long. Now he's going to make me a liar right now, and he's going to stay on the bottom to try and make this next move. But I love how he's been able to work around the track and starting to push that lane just up a little bit further.
You can see how wide the rubber is now up there where Butterbean, that 12 truck, is running. It was a lot narrower when we first started this race.
Josh, let's get an update on the 19, Daniel Hemrick.
Well, yeah, Daniel Hemrick was running just outside the top 10, but came over the radio complaining about a vibration, talking about the left front being loose. So they talked about coming into pit to get left sides only if that problem continues to go on for them.
And it looks like he's coming down now, Josh. Thanks for the update.
And this won't hurt him as long as we stay green the rest of the race, because as Regan talked about, everyone will have to make another pit stop, and this will not hurt him. As a matter of fact, he's going to basically split this final stage pretty much, so it could be an advantage.
Yeah, and I feel like we've seen just a little bit more fall off on most of the trucks than maybe what we even anticipated, so could actually benefit him if he doesn't get that yellow.
Daniel Hemrick's second stop under green. He thought he had that issue.
Yeah, that is not going to benefit him at all.
Take right sides here.
Yeah, he's being shown 3 laps down now, so.
Meanwhile, Cory Heim continues to lead up front. Just lapped Mini Tyrell again, who's back in 25th. 5-second lead over the 88 of Ty Majeski. How does he do these things?
Regan and I were talking about it. You know, it seems like just the first few laps after a restart, he's most vulnerable, and then he just never slows down. Everybody else slows down as the race pace falters a little bit, and he just keeps on going.
See a good battle for 6th right now here. Tanner Gray, who's had a good day all day and needed a good day. A team that had maybe struggled just a little bit early on as they're catching up as well to 5th place there. Gio Ruggiero and Grant Enfinger, after that two-tire call early on, making the most of that, and he's going to get the run to the inside here, and hopefully he can complete this pass.
These two have battled a lot today. Grant Enfinger picks up that spot.
Chandler Smith right behind Tanner Gray as well in the 38 truck.
Remember, Chandler Smith started in the back of the field, broken shock in qualifying, up to 8th. Little bit of strategy, took right sides only. There he is riding on board. We will have another round of pit stops, and before we get to that point, we're going to step aside. It's our final side-by-side box. You won't miss a thing. Cory Heim continues to lead at the Rock. Welcome back to Rockingham Speedway. Well, you saw it in side-by-side. Tanner Gray, the first of the front runners to come down pit road, and what will be, we expect to be the final pit stop of the night.
Yeah, and a little bit of troubles as he was trying to get on pit road. You'll see
close call right here.
Friesen, and it was very hairy for a moment. Of course, Stuart Friesen wrecked off at turn 4 last year, probably having a little bit of a flashback right there, able to avoid him and do a nice job. And now this brings into the next strategy play, right? If you stop a little bit early like Tanner Gray did, and we started to talk about this with Daniel Hemrick, didn't work out with him, but stopping early, you can utilize those tires, utilize going out there and trying to make up some of that time to see if you can gain a couple positions on track.
Regan, that last lap was a half a second faster than our leader, Cory Heim.
And if you can do that for the next 40 laps or until everybody else pits, then you got to wonder if maybe that might not win you the race, but it might get you 3 or 4 spots.
And it's a gamble. Obviously, if the caution comes out now, none of the rest of these trucks have come down pit road, so he will find himself 2 laps down if the caution comes out. He would stay out and take the wave and get one of them back, but he would still be 1 lap down, so it's definitely a gamble.
Nice back and forth for 9th here. Dawson Sutton, Stuart Friesen in the 52. And Regan, during break, you and I were talking about green flag pit stops, and these guys had a shortened practice today. They didn't necessarily get an opportunity to practice getting onto pit road.
Yeah, just didn't see a lot of guys as you see there on the left side of the screen. Gio Ruggiero hitting pit road as well, so another one of our leaders right there. Didn't see a lot of guys that we felt like were doing a fast pit road entrance. Amanda?
Taking a look at the 17 of Gio Ruggiero. He's been really quiet on that radio. You see those right set tires going on. They're going to go around the truck and go ahead and take those other 2 tires and get Gio back out for this race.
Gio Ruggiero pits from 6th. So since the last pit stop, you see for Cory Heim, the leader, 66 laps ago. Ty Majeski, same story. We're hearing Ty Majeski another 4 laps before he pits.
And how often do we see this, Phil? Once a couple guys do it, everybody else still starts to get a little bit more bold, a little bit more brave, and that's when the rest of the field's going to really have to be on top of their game and paying attention to make sure, you know, we saw a near miss there with Stuart Friesen and Tanner Gray, so you definitely are going to have to be aware of that. The spotters are going to have to be aware of that. A couple spotters up there on the roof today that are new, that haven't done it in a while.
Yeah, we're hearing that about 10 more laps before our leader, Cory Heim, comes to pit road.
Ty Majeski's done a nice job tonight. He's been there top 3 pretty much all race long. Just Cory Heim has been that much better and that much faster.
There's Cory LaJoie now. He's battling to try to stay on the lead lap in that Ram.
Cory LaJoie in 11th right now.
And that's a good day right now for Cory LaJoie, hopping in that truck for the first time, running the laps, doing what he's got to do, getting that notebook, helping to gain on that notebook, and if you can get a couple spots at the end, perfect.
Dawson Sutton and Christian Eckes both on pit road right now.
So Cory Heim gets around Cory LaJoie, puts him a lap down. We hear the 88 of Ty Majeski is on his way to pit road for his final adjustments. They've been working on that truck each stop, and there he is.
Well, here's where I really like the experience on getting to pit road, Regan. Josh.
Well, for this 88 truck, they made those track bar adjustments at the end of stage 1 and stage 2 that really helped Ty out in this race. He's been running 2nd behind Heim for most of this race. It's going to be 4 tires and fuel here for the 88.
Hearing Caden Honeycutt, you saw another adjustment there that Josh talked about, 2 tires for the 88. Oh, 62 trouble. Caution is out for Michael Christopher Jr.
And that's the gamble we were talking about. Cory Heim yet to come to pit road. So now Tanner Gray and Dawson Sutton and Christian Eckes, Gio Ruggiero, all 2 laps down.
Yeah, and this will be a problem for all those guys. You mentioned they'll have to take the wave around here, Phil, and that's just going to put them 1 lap down. So for the trucks that stayed out, it played out perfectly as we see what happened here off of turn 2, and
that's looks like Maybe Daniel Hemrick right behind Michael Christopher.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if there was anything there that facilitated that. But
did not see the contact. Could have been contact, but did not see any.
Here's another look at it.
There, just the slightest of nudges, wasn't it?
Michael Christopher up off the bottom just a little bit. Daniel Hemrick going for that position and going for that move, and
Michael did a tremendous job avoiding that inside wall.
Michael Christopher was running 24th at the time of this incident. So we're under caution for the 4th time today.
I think we're showing right now only 7 trucks on the lead lap.
Cory Heim, Honeycutt, Riggs, Enfinger, Chandler Smith, Tyler Ankrum, Stuart Friesen.
And with the 7 trucks on the lead lap and all the way back to 14th, 1 lap down, but other than Ty Majeski, I don't think those guys will be able to wave around.
I feel like that's bad for us, right? I'm take away. Unbelievable. All right, deep breath. Everything else behind us is 2 laps down.
Yeah.
Talked about taking the wave around there.
Yeah, without
just their luck, right?
And Regan's exactly right. He's the only guy that can really take advantage. Some of the other trucks may take it, but they haven't pitted yet. So he's the only guy that's been to pit road that is only 1 lap down. He'll lose track position because taking the free pass, you'll have to start from the back of the field, but he will be back on the lead lap.
And so will Corey LaJoy, who gets the free pass there. So he's in 8th. As everyone that has not pitted comes down pit road your way. Amanda.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at this lane grid pit stop. The pit crew was still motioning 4 tires and 2 tires to the crew chief before they went all the road. They're going to take those right side tires for now. I did see them communicate to the fuel can and say just half of the fuel can for there. They are going to take those left side tires as well. So 4 tires for Lane Riggs.
Well, for the 11 of Cory Heim, he said he fires off just a little bit free. He used to be snugged up, just 4 tires for Heim. And for the 11, same deal. He said he could use to be snugged up as well, 4 tires and fuel for the 11.
Yeah, with only 7 trucks on the lead lap, it makes no sense to put 2 tires on right now. If you still had 27 trucks on the lead lap, that's different.
Yeah, 4 tires is the only option. And Cory Heim, with the field was stretched out when they hit pit road, so even if you do 2 tires, you're probably not going to be able to leapfrog anybody. So get yourself set up for the end of the race and this final 25 to 30 lap run we'll have.
A lot of trucks. A lap down or 2 laps down.
They'll all be hitting pit road now. Against the trucks that have already pitted that are 2 laps down, like Tanner Gray, they should wave.
Right.
They'll only be 1 lap down, but if they come to pit road now, then they're ineligible for the wave, and they would remain 2 laps down.
So 2 laps to go here as we see the trucks that were a lap down getting their service now. There's Jake Garcia, who started on the pole.
We saw Jake finished in the top 10 in the first stage, but it looked like his truck kind of went away from him at the first stage, after the first stage.
Yeah, and they've continued to have a struggle to get it back to where he needs right now. So, and a number of these trucks right here that are on pit road, you see Ben Rhodes, we've documented what's been going on with him, the struggles today, and really since the start of practice, the struggles, very limited time. Corey LaJoy, on the other hand, doing what he needs to do today. I know he was a lap down, but he's running the laps. They're getting that notebook. They're building that notebook, and certainly looking decent right now. Josh?
Well, during that pit cycle under green before this last stop, remember we talked about Ty Majeski came to pit road. Originally, they were going to do 4 tires. Elected to just go with the right side, so they went 2 tires instead of 4, guys.
And Josh, that actually matters right there, because everybody else that had pitted ended up 2 laps down. By taking those 2 tires and making that call, that actually is what allowed him to be 1 lap down. So I know it's not going to look good track position-wise where he's going to have to restart, but a quick yellow, then you get to restart back up front with the guys that you want to be around with that top 8. And as good as he's been, was running second before he pitted, you have to think he can make up some moves.
And you may elect to come in and put those left sides on that you didn't put on that green flag pit stop.
Well, we're having a lot of fun calling this action here at Rockingham, but in 1 week from now, it's a triple header at Bristol Motor Speedway, the last great Coliseum. Can Tyler Reddick continue his unprecedented start to a season? Can Joey Logano get it done? It's a short track. It's right in his wheelhouse. Bubba Wallace wants to get back on track. And Chase Elliott fans, they're happy. Their driver won at Martinsville. They get the weekend off. We'll see if he can do it again. That's next Sunday, April 12th on FS1.
Just absolutely love this short track swing that we're on right now with the Cup Series and Martinsville, Bristol, some fun racetracks.
Remember, Kevin Harvick asked Denny Hamlin, could Tyler Reddick win the championship? He said, if he can get the short tracks figured out, he can. He's got another opportunity next week.
He came oh so close to winning when there was a bunch of dirt on it. A heck of a battle.
We've seen all kinds of craziness at Bristol. We've seen dirt, tires falling off crazy, and all kinds of good stuff.
So Cory Heim doing the choosing, picking the bottom. His teammate, Caden Honeycutt, Grant Enfinger, Lane Riggs, Chandler Smith. Your top 5.
Yeah, and I think Cory Heim, you know, we talked about learning on that very first restart of the race when maybe gave up just a position, and really the only time he's been passed all day long. So it seems to be sticking with it. It's been working.
Look at this, won at 20 different tracks, tied for 3rd all time with Kyle Busch. Winless here. He's only had one other shot at it, and he was pretty darn good last year.
Just no weaknesses. You know, it doesn't matter what type of track it is, and whether it's a short track, a intermediate,
road courses,
a road course,
wherever.
A super speedway. Cory Heim he's got them all figured out, and at 23 years old to have that much figured out, be fun to watch him battle. And Caden Honeycutt's not going to give this to him on this restart. Let me promise you that. Caden's going to do everything he can to hang on that quarter panel and try to have a run down the backstretch here.
Well, I love the dynamic because, you know, Cory Heim, he wants nothing more than to beat that 11 starting to his outside. The 11 wants nothing more than to beat that man sitting in the 1 truck. We'll see how it all shakes out. 28 laps to go from Rockingham. Cory Heim, Caden Honeycutt on the front row.
Good push on the outside from Lane Riggs. Corey's got a truck length.
Huge restart. Shot out of a cannon for that 1 truck. Nice battle side by side for 2nd. Grant Enfinger is right there trying to pick up that 2nd spot. Teammates behind them, Lane Riggs, Chandler Smith side by side.
Remember, all 4 new tires on all these trucks up front here.
See a nice move by Lane Riggs off of turn 4, was able to use that momentum to gain that position on Grant Enfinger. His teammate behind him, Chandler Smith, going to try to do the same down the backstretch.
Talk about making your truck better. How about Chandler Smith and his bunch?
Has not been happy with that truck all night long, but they have not given up. They have worked. They had a little strategy, and here he is battling up front for a top 5.
I thought Grant Enfinger was in the process of spinning out here, and he never even lost a spot.
Stuart Friesen going in the right direction here in the closing laps.
And how about that for Stuart, getting himself up into the top 5 and really had a complete race so far. Done everything right, made the right pit strategy calls to get the track position, but he's done a nice job on track to maintain that track position, make the moves when he can, get the passes when he can.
Remember a year ago, he had a huge hit here, Stuart Friesen. Amanda interviewed him, and he was just beside himself,
distraught.
Yes, questioning his desire to keep racing and why he's doing it. Then, of course, we know a couple months later had a severe injury to his back and leg. He fights back, and now he's in the hunt here, battling for a top 5 at Rockingham. Here it is. We just talked about it.
This in qualifying right here, they had to work on that truck right up until the race started. Barely got it out in time to the grid, and there you see just Raja Karuth gets a little bit loose in front of him, and
just destroyed.
Carnage was on after that.
Amanda.
I went and talked to Stuart after that race. You guys, in the interview, it was pretty tough to listen to. We actually exchanged messages afterwards of just keeping his head in the game and in the race. And I went over to talk to him today about if he looked at this weekend as almost like redemption. And he said that's a good word for it. And he said, you know, my body still hurts week in, week out, but going back to last year and then going on and getting the win in Michigan, that was really a turning point for my season to continue on as a race car driver.
Yeah, I love to see that. Just head up, just keep digging. He's had just one top 10 this season, kicked it off at Daytona, but certainly incredible run here for Stuart Friesen, especially after what happened last year.
Yeah, we could have added him to that list of the guys that really needed to make something good happen here.
Don't look now, but Caden Honeycutt has been able to hang on just a little bit better this run. I know we're only about 11 laps into this run, but definitely making progress with that 11.
As the leader crosses the line here, we've reached our Craftsman. 20 laps to go.
And I think this is going to be the point right here. This is where we've seen Cory Heim be able to start stretching it out all day long. But can Caden Honeycutt stay close enough to him as they get closer to the back of the field? That's going to be the opportunity for Caden Honeycutt. They should, if we stay green, get into some more lap traffic here. And we've seen lap traffic be difficult for everybody all day long, making the right moves, making the right decisions. I know Cory's done a wonderful job of that to this point, but that'll be the opportunity that Caden can maybe close back up right on him.
Yeah, so far these trucks are pretty evenly matched. They're flip-flopping who has the fastest lap. That last lap Honeycutt did. The lap before that Cory Heim did.
The top three are on the gas. Their fastest laps of the race just turned last lap ago. We look at 18 laps to go here from the Rock. Still battling for that fourth position, Grant Enfinger, Chandler Smith.
And you know that Caden Honeycutt right now is just, he's pushing that gas pedal so hard that it's going through the firewall. And this battle here has continued on for quite some time now. Grant Enfinger and Chandler Smith for fourth place. And, you know, Chandler, I know he's not going to be thrilled with fifth necessarily, but based on how the day started and how things were going, this is looking to be a good result for him right now.
Yeah, he's got fourth in his mind right now.
He certainly does, but he's also looking to next Friday night. We know how good those trucks are. Chandler Smith picked up a win at Bristol last year. Of course, his teammate Lane Riggs, and side by side they go, leaning on each other just a couple of feet apart.
And you saw the 9 truck. We were looking out towards him from the Chandler Smith truck and just fighting it all the way through turns 3 and 4. That gave Chandler the run down the front stretch.
Regan, I wish we had a camera on you right now. Your body language leaning over like you are driving that truck.
It started about a half a lap ago, and I was nervous when I saw it. And Grant's done a good job today, and he looks like he's really holding on to that 9 truck at certain times.
He's driving the heck out of that truck. That truck is not the best handling truck out there, but he is doing a whale of a job holding on to it.
Still working around some lap trucks, but meanwhile up front, Cory Heim continues his parade forward. He has just been incredible. Led 165 laps today. There is the gap from first to second. You see the 11 truck there, just under a second behind the leader. This is the most laps Heim has ever led in a race.
That's hard to believe. As many races as he's won, 24 times he's gone to victory lane.
There it is right there.
And he made it through that first batch of traffic that we were talking about when he got to them. Made it through and was actually able to extend the lead just a little bit. So that's job well done by Cory Heim, doing everything that he needs to do. As we see Grant Enfinger continuing to hold on here, battling for fifth right now with Stuart Friesen, and Stuart doing everything he can. He sees right now that Grant's struggling. He's trying to put that pressure on him so he can get that extra spot.
Grant Enfinger must have heard you, Phil, at the top of the show talking about those points. He needs to maximize. Grant Enfinger with a slow start to the season. Had a good run last race at Darlington, but he needs every single point, trying to hold off Stuart Friesen.
Yeah, crew chief Derek Smith went with that 2-tire call, and that got him 6 points in the stage and kept him up front, up here in the top 10 the rest of the race.
Stuart trying to work that high line, and you saw Grant move up just a little bit, just trying to take a little bit of that air off of the nose, and does it again down here in 3 and 4, and it's just keeping Stuart from able to get that big run off the corner that he needs to at least try to get to the quarter panel, which slows the other truck down.
Yeah, Regan, you're exactly right. He's trying to steal the air from Stuart Friesen, trying to take his air.
As he should be.
As he should be. I think down 3 and 4 is where he really struggles. That was a pretty good corner there for Grant. We've seen him sideways 2 or 3 times down there in turn 4.
Just 9 laps to go here at the Rock. 3 different leaders today. That man has hogged them all. Cory Heim, as you see his crew chief, Jeremy Donnelly, just one previous victory. I mean, the nerves. You talk to these crew chiefs when they have somebody like Cory Heim come in. It adds pressure, but it's such an exciting time for him to get that opportunity to have Cory behind the wheel. Cory will be in this truck next week at Bristol as well.
And Caden Honeycutt has been able to cut back into that lead. Once they got clear of that initial batch of lap traffic, he has been able to cut it back down to about just under a half a second. And moments like that right there, when Cory Heim has to really go evasive to go around another truck, you see right there, it allows him to close up even more.
Yeah, it all depends on where you catch the lap traffic. Bad break for Cory Heim that last corner. Look at Caden Honeycutt now, only about 0.4 of a second behind. More heavy traffic ahead.
He's going to have some more opportunities here. This thing is far from over with 6 to go, and Cory's going to have to keep making just the right decisions. And you know, Caden consistently clipping off just a little bit quicker laps right now. We haven't seen this all day.
We've talked about this being a triple truck challenge race. Cory Heim got the win at the first of 3, picked up that $50,000 bonus tonight. If he can hang on, he'll get an extra $100,000. And if he goes to Bristol and can win that one as well, well, $500,000 total for the triple truck challenge.
Caden Honeycutt is right here. Caden Honeycutt's able to roll the bottom in 1 and 2 especially. He's able to make up some really good time. And I promise you, Caden doesn't care about that triple truck challenge right now. He wants his first victory, and he is pushing hard right now.
I like what you're saying here. Something we saw the 11 truck do many times last year, closing.
Heavy traffic in front of these guys right here. Heavy traffic.
Down to about less than a truck length. This is the closest that we've seen it, and this is where Caden's going to be able to put the pressure in. And if he can cut down right here with just a little momentum.
Guys, 3 laps to go.
Oh, whoa.
Battle for the lead, getting around lap trucks. Can Cory Heim hold off Caden Honeycutt, who has not led a lap today, but he's been there?
Look at all that traffic in front of them. Pretty good trucks in front of them too, Regan.
And Caden had that move to the outside, and you know, I think that's not a teammate.
See what you can do here.
Cory Heim has some kind of problem. You heard him cue his radio.
He's going to come up on side-by-side trucks racing for position.
And that is a team truck in front of him, Tanner Gray. Tries to move up and get out of the way. Dawson Sutton right there as well. Side by side, white flag in the air, final lap. Cory Heim has absolutely dominated this race. Caden Honeycutt in the 11 has yet to win his first career race. Trying to get around Tanner Gray, their teammate. Not enough. Cory Heim gets the advantage. Here they come out of turn number 4. So close, but Cory Heim does it. 25th career win. He wins it at the Rock, and he takes home that $100,000 bonus.
What a finish, and Caden Honeycutt's going to be frustrated after this one. Caden had the move, had the position on the outside there, and Tanner Gray to the outside doing what he had to do to try and finish his race off, and Caden couldn't get to the outside lane because of the truck in the way up there. And man, what a job by Cory Heim, though, to stay with it. Said he was having a problem and found a way to stay with it no matter what was going on. There's a lot to unpack in that final lap.
My heart's beating. I think my heart rate is up quite a bit. That was an exciting move. Let's listen in on the radio from Cory Heim right at the checkered flag.
I don't know what happened, but I'm steering right down the straightaways. All of a sudden, got a right front go down or something. Oh my God.
Well, that would explain it right there, and a whale of a job for him to, as a racing driver, find a way. No matter what's going on, find a way to get the job done. He did. He used his teammate as a pick up there on the outside line, and that's what allowed him to win that race when it was all said and done.
And I'm not sure how that truck stuck as hard as he had to drive it in turn 3 down there.
Exactly.
Cory Heim sent it, not knowing for sure if that tire was down or not. What an effort by Caden Honeycutt. What a show they just put on those last few laps. Crew chief Jeremy Donnelly, just talked about him, gets his second career win as a crew chief. He's the 4th different crew chief that Cory Heim has gone to victory with. What time is it?
I think it might be Heim time.
There it is. The fans like what they're seeing. Caden Honeycutt. What could have been, guys. He gave it his all.
He did. He gave it his all.
And Caden's day it's coming very, very soon. Looked like it could have potentially been today as that race was playing out, and nothing to hang his head over. Just what a wow of a battle to get himself up there and put himself in position. And how about Cory Heim? I mean, this is getting absolutely incredible at this point.
His win percentage is Kyle Busch numbers.
Yeah, 25 to 30%. It's just incredible.
Cory picks the kid out of the crowd that he wants to give the checkered flag to. I guess when you get that many, you start giving them away.
Well, it won't be long till he'll have a whole bunch of Cory Heim T-shirts up in the crowd to pick from.
No doubt. Cory Heim, absolutely dominant today, led 178 laps. He gets the win, and Josh Sims is with him.
An absolute dominant performance from Cory Heim. 2 straight wins here in the Truck Series. He had to sweat this one out, though, at the end. Cory, what is going through your mind at the end of that race when you've got your former team and that 11 truck bearing down on you? You come over the radio and say, I got a problem. I got to hold him off to try and get this win.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel like I was pushing any harder than the previous run, so I didn't feel like I did any more damage to the right front, but all of a sudden, I think it was like 4 to go. My truck started just like, I had to turn more right down the straightaway to keep it straight. You know, my wheel was clocked like 20 degrees to the right, and then we started shattering really bad in the corners. I was like, oh boy, here we go. We're gonna lose this one in the worst way possible, but hung in there and just had to use a couple of lap car picks there to fend them off. Respect to Caden for racing clean there. I had to do what I had to do there at the end, but first win for Robin Hood, first win in my J's, my race shoes here. Thank you to Toyota Tricon for having me back again. I really enjoyed doing this. Definitely a stressful ending there, but got it done. Go for 500K next week.
What's it like on days like this when you have the type of dominant performance, the truck you have, the team you have, to be able to come out here and put a butt whooping on the field?
It's fun, for sure. I mean, this group did an incredible job. I mean, I worked with them in Atlanta, but Atlanta's such a weird track. You don't really get to understand your speed and kind of what the truck's capable of, but these guys, Jeremy, my crew chief, and this entire one crew, Nick Payne and the spotter stand, just proved that they're an elite team this weekend and can hang with the best of them for sure.
And second leg of the Triple Truck Challenge, you get the win, now $150K in the pocket for you and this team. What's that mean?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. I don't really think about it in the truck, you know, but it's cool to reflect on it, and I think I'd be the first person to sweep all 3 if I'm able to do it. So a lot of motivation for these guys in the one camp, and with Celsius as our primary next week, so I'm super excited about that. But glad we come here with Robin Hood today and get their first win.
Cory Heim makes it Heim time here at Rockingham.
Caden Honeycutt just told me off camera that he lost his lunch there at the finish line from sheer exhaustion and from the result of that race. I do want to tell you, the guys in the booth said, do not hang your head on that. How much did that take out of you, Caden?
That was everything I had, no doubt about that. Just, man, thank you to Safe Flight and everyone on this 11 team that had a really good truck today. I know Cory was definitely really good today. I finally got the adjustment at the end that I thought I needed, and finally got the track position to be behind him and to race him at the end. Just, I don't know. I mean, we went down into 3, and unfortunately my teammate was right there, and just kind of hindered our way to the finish. But, you know, congrats to Cory, the whole one team, Tricon. This organization's been really, really good the last 5 weeks, and just shows how good our trucks are. Just so thank you, Toyota Racing, everyone that believes me to do this. Just great calls today. Scott did a really good job in the box making adjustments. Just the last one was definitely one I needed. I caught him. I don't really know what I should have done differently to win the race. I feel like it's so narrow down there. I couldn't have ran in my teammate and punted him out of the way. But yeah, it's just definitely unfortunate that we can get the win there. But it's awesome that we're keep on climbing and got another top 5. And second place definitely bad to hang our head about. So we'll go on to Bristol with a lot of speed and momentum. And I feel like we're our first ones getting there. Just got to keep on trying.
I know you made a small quip out of the truck saying you could have just run through your teammate there. I knew you were joking, but you also said that Cory Heim played it perfectly. You're racing in the 11 this season. What is it an honor to follow Cory?
Yeah, it was awesome. It's good that I actually can put the truck where it was at last year and race the guy that won that many races, just because he's a Cup guy. So I think it was really good to race him at the end there. I thought I actually had him suckered there down the front stretch when I got to the top. Just didn't get the live traffic. Just needed to play that a little better and ultimately try to come out the other end at the winner. But glad that Toyota Racing and Tricon as an organization won the race, whether it was me or him. So our time will come. We got plenty of races to go and got a lot of good points today, so that was good. And we'll just keep cutting into that lead and see if we can go for the end of it in the title and win a lot of races this year.
Jamie, I know you said your heart rate is up. So much heart from Caden Honeycutt there at the end of that race.
Absolutely. Made it so exciting. I can't wait to see what he can do on the short track at Bristol next week. 3 straight top 5 finishes for Caden Honeycutt. And what can you say about Cory Heim? He has now moved into sole possession of 5th most wins ever in the Truck Series. So young. As we take a look back at how he got it done at the finish of this one.
Yeah, and this was the first time Caden Honeycutt referenced this when he got to the outside there, but then Gio Ruggiero, he saw him up there, and Cory Heim moved up just enough to where he had to check up right there and couldn't try to make the move there.
Last lap, last effort.
And this was still coming to the 3 to go, just a little bit different angle right there to kind of show that he couldn't quite complete it when he had the opportunity to do it. And I didn't know if he was going to get back to him after this, and he certainly did in big fashion. And we know now that Cory Heim was struggling and what he was struggling with there.
This is when he's going to get up, getting close to his teammate, the 15 of Tanner Gray. He's racing for position against Austin Sutton, so we understand that as well. But watch how hard Cory drives his truck in this corner.
He sails it off in there, and this is where Caden's able to really get the move and get the momentum to get to the outside. But as much as the track widened out today, it didn't widen out quite enough. If it would have been another 2 feet, then maybe Caden Honeycutt can make that move. And what do you do right here? You're boxed in, and Cory knows that. Cory's doing exactly what he needs to.
Here's where he drives it down in the corner. Watch.
Move of the race right here.
Wow. Caden Honeycutt actually led the next to the last lap of this race.
And just a fantastic job by 2 drivers going and battling hard right there, and Cory Heim making the right move and using everything at his disposal.
They had teammates all around him those last 3 laps. As you take a look at the unofficial results, Cory Heim, Caden Honeycutt, Lane Riggs, great effort by him, Chandler Smith for everything that team went through today to come back with the top 5. Very impressive.
Yeah, Stuart Friesen with a top 5. Corey LaJoie gets his first top 10 in a Ram of many this year.
Dawson Sutton in 16th had run in the top 10 for a majority of the day. A little disappointing at the end there, but definitely had a better day than what we've seen out of them in a while.
Some of those guys gambled on that green flag pit stop, and that really bit them because Cory Heim had not come to pit road when the caution came out.
And then you see some of the guys back here further back that had trouble. Carson Hocevar just he said it's what did he say? It was like a sitcom or something like that.
Yes, he did. Things continued. Adam Andretti, the only major hit that was out of the race, finished last. As you see Cory Heim burning it down. We'll be back after this to wrap things up from the Rock.